Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. We're available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can also check us out on our website, life-uncensored.com. Come on over and see what you've been missing. Hi, everybody. We are celebrating 1 year. That's right, our 1 year anniversary. Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood, one episode at a time. I am your host, Amanda Lockhart Davis. And that's right, we are celebrating 1 year of real talk, raw truth, and navigating adulthood, one episode at a time. Thank you for joining. This is a special episode. I am so excited for today just to share with you all, celebrate with you all. Thank you all, and give my gratitude to everyone out there, listeners and guests alike. You guys have been my backbone. That's right, we are celebrating 1 year anniversary of Life Uncensored. So let's just get into it. Life Uncensored first aired on May 15th, 2024. And our first guest was Mr. John Howard, talking about parenting and talking about men supporting men. It was amazing to have him on as my first guest. Today, we're just going to reflect on our past episodes, talk about lessons learned, and just have a few laughs. So thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. Shout out to everyone listening and tuning in every time we air. So first things first, right? Like I said, our first episode aired on May 15th, 2024. And the reason why I started this podcast was because I had something in me. For years, I had wanted to start a podcast, but I felt like, nobody's going to listen. I'm not going to have followers. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say or what I want to talk about. And then I learned a tough lesson. Regret sucks. Period. Point blank. Two lessons in regret that I learned. Frankly, I had to learn the hard way. Some of you have heard this story before, may remember it, but my father died when I was pregnant with my second born son. And we shared a birthday a day apart. His birthday was the day after mine. And growing up, I remember putting up the Christmas tree because our birthdays are in December, having cake, playing games, playing music, dancing, just having a good time with the family. And for my birthday that year, I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to relive that. But I didn't say anything to my family. I thought nobody's going to want to do that. Everybody's got their own lives now. Nobody's going to feel like it, And I didn't say anything. My father passed away that following April. We never had a birthday again together. That was regret number one. Regret number two was when my mother died. My mother died after a long battle with breast cancer in 2018. Coming up on 7 years ago. And she turned 70 that January. I wanted to throw a big party for her, have like all of her nieces and nephews and family come from down south and just really just celebrate her and have that time with her. Because we never had thrown a big party like that for my mom, at least that I remember, that I'm old enough to remember. And talking to my siblings, they were like, oh, well, she might not want that. Mom's a pretty quiet person. She probably might not want that. We don't know. So maybe we shouldn't do it. And I let them talk me out of it. Her birthday was that January. She died that September. We never had another birthday with her. And I regret that every day. And I have regretted it every day since. And it's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. And it was at that time that I decided I'm tired of living with regrets. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And if it doesn't work out, who cares? At least I can say I tried it. I tried it, it didn't work out, as opposed to, man, I wonder if. I wish I could have. I should have did. And so there were several things before the podcast that I employed that feeling on, that I was not going to live. I started traveling more. I started just doing more things that I wanted to try and do. And so when it came to this podcast, I had had it in me for a while. I wasn't sure where to start. I didn't know who to ask, to get advice or anything. And just one day I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to jump out there. If it's screwed up, I'll figure it out along the way. Period, point blank. And here we are a year later. Um, I can't thank you all enough for riding this ride with me. It has been amazing. I want to shout out some of my loyal guests. John Howard, again, I'm mentioning him as our first ever guest on Life Uncensored, Navigating Adulthood, one episode at a time. John, thank you so much. I can't wait to have you back on in the very near future. I want to shout out Rashid Hamid, who has a company that was able to help me bring my dream to life, helping me put my logo together and figure out which platform to use and how to get the information out there. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a loyal guest and friend, family member on Life Uncensored, Rashid. I want to thank Miss Nicole Garner, Tarina Taylor, Shanae Jackson, China Morgan. These ladies are entrepreneurs who are killing the game. I mean, really killing it. And they have been multi-time guests, and I appreciate you all. And there's so many more, but those few I wanted to shout out specifically because they hold a special place in my heart as it pertains to this podcast and for other reasons. So just thank you all so much, for just riding this ride with me. And, when I call out and say, hey, you want to be a guest on the show again? I have this topic to talk about. Without hesitation, it's always yes. It's just a matter of when. So thank you guys so much for that. I love you. I love you. I love you to the moon and beyond. Like I said, this episode is going to be part celebration, part look back, and a whole lot of gratitude. So you're going to hear me say thank you a lot. So, just get ready for that, okay? Because it's going to be happening. Right now, I want to do something really special and just do a look back on some of the guests that we've had.
Now, people say kids change you. Girls, that right there turned my life totally upside down because it's a different type of love.
I think he will be better. And, if I'm only better and if I was a better wife and if I was a better mom and if I was a better, then this would work. And then
number one, you have to be realistic.
Yeah. Are you ready for the responsibility? It's great rewards if you are, but you got to be, you got to be ready.
Spotlight tonight. We have some things to talk about, some things to go over. I want to hear your journey. I'm sure there
word for word it, but pull up, please skirt and hop out.
No, I've been listening to them.
And he started out just kind of interviewing people so they had somewhere to talk about this.
Yeah.
And then he created his nonprofit to help fund counseling for them.
I was there for sure. With me being the oldest of 9 kids, it was definitely some days without food, water, and electricity.
See what I'm saying?
Lot
she's gonna get the nap. She sleep in the middle of a party the other weekend.
So why you Janae?
Because I knew what it was going to turn into, and I didn't want to be there. And it was her birthday. And thank you for not telling the other story.
It takes coping skills. It takes techniques. It takes self-awareness to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are.
I can start this one. I say when I first started, I didn't know anyone in the industry, right? And when it comes to the marketing industry, tech industry, it's very clicky.
Finishing a book on it. And it's actually going to be on policing and Parkinson's. So It's actually the first one in the world. Again, I don't know why it's like that. It's sad. I
wasn't making it to the top of mountains at 21, halfway
Right.
across the planet. And I decided to break my silence, and I started asking these guys and girls.
It grabs you and hold on to you, and you're like, ooh, like what's going to happen? Because you're thinking
the way they did with Thanos was masterful, because you didn't even know Thanos was pushing all of those buttons.
Yeah.
You really didn't know until the end when they
Sleeping disorders are still pretty elusive. I mean, there's psychologists who work on sleeping disorders, but there are also neurologists who work on sleeping disorders.
Then I discovered my voice. And in discovering my voice, that turned into public speaking opportunities.
Yeah. So the women that are sitting in front of my lens, those are the women who I want to make sure
they're like big gaping holes that we need to address. Yeah, and then email marketing. What's the data telling us? What are your open rates like? What's your list size? What are your click rates?
You know, there are a variety of things that can cause delay in your speech and language development. Or, you know,
I had to get into his subconscious, find out exactly where and what point in time during his day he was being taken over, because he was.
That's right. A big shout out to all my wonderful guests. I love to hear people's stories. I love to learn more about people, learn more about the things that I don't know a lot about. My nephew was in that clip. My nephew Chris Davis, talking about sleeping disorders, and that's something that I struggle with. I am an insomniac and have been as long as I can remember, and just having him kind of walk through what that looks like from a medical perspective was really enlightening and fun, and I love to learn about people and hear their stories, and that was so great. Let me tell you, the episode that I had with Daya Shakur, if you guys have not tuned into his podcast, OMG, you're missing out, because that man is nuts. The name of his podcast is Journey of a Jackass. Go check him out, okay? Look it up, Journey of a Jackass with Daya Shakur, excuse me. And when I tell you that having him on the show was a huge ball of fun, I didn't want the show to end. It was amazing. And then to have him back with my brother, Reggie Franks, talking about my passion of Marvel, and all things comic, DC, Marvel, all of that. But a very special Marvel episode celebrating Stan Lee's birthday. That was so awesome. We literally could have just been on there all day long. I mean, literally, we could have been on all day long just talking about all the things that we love as it pertains to Marvel that day. So a special shout out to all of you, all my special guests, friends, family, strangers who have become family and friends to Life Uncensored. Thank you so much. One of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit was I just wanted to reflect on what it's been like hosting this show for this past year. I've learned so much. I've learned a lot about my audience. I've learned a lot about podcasting. I've learned things about myself. I've learned just so much. And I don't take that for granted. One thing that I learned about podcasting and myself specifically is that I lie when I say, yeah, we're going to keep it short, because you get enthralled in people's stories and their background and their history and the things that you're talking about, whatever the topic is, that you lose track of time. You look up, you're like, oh, it's been over an hour. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. We got to start closing out, but you don't want to. So a lot of times you'll hear me say, I hope you'll come back to my guests, because I want to keep the conversation going. So I learned that about myself, that I lie when I say, yeah, we're going to keep this short, because that is not what happens. Almost never, ever happens. The other thing that I've learned is that everyone, and I mean everyone, has a story worth telling. I, gosh, I don't even know how else to put that. It's just we've had episodes about Marvel. We've had episodes about the Golden Girls. We've had an episode where a gentleman talked to us about being the caregiver for his mother who had Parkinson's disease and talking about the awareness um, of that disease. I've had a great guest, Katrina Massey, on who talked about her journey as she was trafficked as a teenager, and she survived that. You know, um, my gosh, everyone has a story worth telling. And even when you don't think you do, you do. You do, you do, you do. And that's something else that I've learned about this experience as a podcast host. It's amazing to me when you just strike up a conversation with an individual and you realize, my gosh, there's more than what meets the eye. And that's just so awesome to me. Um, we've had surprises on this show. There was an episode where I had three wonderful young ladies, Heather, Tia, and Randy, who, when I was in the corporate world, I managed them. They were my subordinates, and they're such a great group of ladies. And though this was many years ago, we still keep in contact. Today's Randy's birthday. Shout out to you, Randy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I love you. And we shouted each other on Mother's Day, birthdays. We talk about when we're going to get together. I just love them so much. And I had a surprise moment for them when um, my boss uh, showed up on the show and surprised them. They hadn't seen or spoken to her in many years, and we all loved her. And that's Julie Rogers. And I was so grateful to be able to orchestrate that and watch it unfold. The ladies were so surprised. They were so happy to see her, and we had such a great conversation. It was awesome. It was awesome. I think one of the things that has happened to me over this past year is that I've grown as a host. Um, if you look at the first episode to the latest episode, you'll see some things that have changed, that have happened. Um, you'll see a difference in even my confidence as I'm speaking and asking the questions that I'm asking and talking to you all, engaging with you all as the audience. And I'm just I'm so blessed to be able to have done that and do that. Um, I want to share a shout out right now to my 11,000 plus listeners on Facebook. You guys have been awesome to me. Um, Tuning in, liking, sharing, um, following. Just to my followers on Facebook, I can't thank you enough. To my followers on all of my platforms, um, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, thank you so much. I am so thankful to you. I am so proud to be able to say, oh, look at my followers across all these platforms. I couldn't do this show without you, right? Because who'd be listening if it wasn't you? Who'd be watching? Who'd be tuning in if it wasn't you? I just thank you so very much. You mean the world to me. Um, I am going to take this moment to have another reflection. I think I've got something special for you. Hold that thought.
Hello and welcome to our first episode of B2B with Extra Hands. Welcome back to B2B with Extra Hands. And you are back with B2B with Extra Hands.
Honestly, being part of Life Uncensored has been one of the dopest, realest podcast experiences I've had.
Today we're going to be talking about how you can use a virtual assistant to leverage your finances. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to end your business year successfully. As you know, everything this week is all about love, right? You can absolutely start small. You can pick one task, just one, right? Automate it. Don't overthink it. No coded tools like Zapier or Make. Just keep it super simple today. How can I help these entrepreneurs, these small business owners fall back in love with their companies? It is a very frustrating role to wear the hat of a CEO. It's a very frustrating role to be an entrepreneur. And it's also something that can be extremely lonely at times. And I'm speaking from my own experience. I've split this topic into two key points for conversation. The first one is going to be financial closeout, and the second one is going to be strategic planning.
So Amanda's built a space that lets us talk business and be human.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to air this afterwards because God only knows what's going to come out this man's mouth.
What you doing here?
There he is.
You got a nice little setup.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is all right.
Hosting B2B here has been next level.
So I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, Rashid, who is or are some women in your past or present who've inspired you and been intricate to not only Rashid, but also Extra Hands?
Man, no fluff tonight, huh? You straight to the gut.
Straight to it. Boom, boom.
Shout out to Amanda for 1 full year on air.
Those are my 3 big key points for financial closeout. So here's the takeaway. Productivity isn't about getting your inbox back to zero. I mean, that's great, but it's about getting your mindset to zero.
If you haven't tapped in yet, subscribe, follow, support the vision.
So, what is my favorite part of being a guest on Life Uncensored? And that is Amanda and I have history. So, it's really talking to an old friend with an audience. What I like in general about Life Uncensored is the range of topics, anywhere from geeking about the Golden Girls to mental health issues. Like, that's what life's about. So, I am very eager to see what episodes Life Uncensored has in store for us in the future.
I'm Shanae Jackson, and I have been on Life Uncensored podcast 3 times. And every time that I've been on there, I have learned something else. I have gone further into my own thinking. I've been challenged. I've been thoughtful. And it was just a really exciting place to be. So I'm so glad that I've been able to be on the podcast.
My favorite part of on being on Life Uncensored is the conversations. They're real, they're authentic, they're thought provoking, and allows you to get to thinking just about different perspectives. And I think that it's my favorite. I think my personal favorite combo podcast I've been on, just because I love the energy of the ladies. And Amanda, you're doing an amazing job with creating these experiences. So Life Uncensored, I love you guys. I can't wait to see other episodes.
Thank you guys for dropping in to say hello and for giving your reflections on being guests on Life Uncensored. Thank you, Rashid, for your awesome edition of the B2B segment with Extra Hands. And I just can't thank you all enough. Again, I told you this episode was going to be full of thanks and gratitude and shout outs. So to all of you, thank you. Thank you, Nicole, Shanae, and China as well. Let's talk a little bit about what we have in store. We've done so much, we've come so far, and we're still trucking along. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep moving. We're going to have in the near future episodes talking about grief. We'll have someone on who can talk to us about being an ASL interpreter, American Sign Language, and some of the things that she's been doing. For example, she was recently in the play of The Color Purple, and this rendition was different and a first time where ASL and hearing speaking were represented at the same time. So it wasn't just interpretation. I saw the play myself. It was amazing. It was so good. So it wasn't just interpretation of what was happening. There were ASL actors. So imagine a stage that has two Celies, two Miss Sophias, and so on. One who is ASL, um, and one who is speaking, and they're both acting the part at the exact same time. It was awesome. So we'll have her on to talk a little bit about that experience. We're going to have a topic on men supporting men, part two, where our friend John Howard has worked together with some local men in PG County to create a group where they are supporting each other, but also going out into the community and supporting young men as well. And we're gonna keep talking with our women in business. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a women in business series coming up these next few episodes, where they're going to be back-to-back episodes. We're just going to be talking straight up with women in business, talking about their journeys, what they do, how they help other businesses and entrepreneurs, and what you can do to get involved. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited. Also, um, don't forget, go check out our website. Okay. Our website is life-uncensored.com, and scrolling at the bottom of your screen there, life-uncensored.com, and go check out some merch, right? We've got water bottles, we've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, we've got mouse pads. Go check out some merch and see what's out there for you. Okay. And again, that's on our website, life-uncensored.com. Listen, this show started with a mic and a mission, right? The mission was to talk to people, hear people's stories, allow them to share their stories, allow them to share their journeys. One episode we had with two extraordinary female bodybuilders, and they talked about their journeys and their personal lives and what it's like to be a female bodybuilder in a male dominated industry, and what it does to um, their personal lives and how it's affected or impacted their personal lives. And I'm so thankful to them for joining. But as we have these conversations, not only are we learning about each other, we are also finding out that there's a lot of us whose story is similar to ours, which says we are not alone. We're not alone. Um, and it's comforting to know that. A lot of times as human beings, as adults, we go through life thinking, oh, it's just me dealing with this. So we keep it to ourselves. We don't talk much about it. We don't deal with it um, with other people. But my show is geared to have those conversations, to put them out into the atmosphere and let people know it's not just you. You're not alone. And I sincerely hope that I have done just that I have accomplished that goal, and that I will continue to do so. Um, so just keep that in mind, okay? Please rate us. Go to Spotify, where we are. Rate and review our show. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, LinkedIn. And if this show has meant something to you in any way, even just one episode, share it. Share it with someone, okay? Share it with someone that you like, you love, you care about, okay? I just want to thank my support system. When I decided I wanted to do this, I told my husband, I said, I think I want to do this, and I think I'm going to do it. And he knows me well enough to know that if I say something out loud, that I mean it. I don't say things I don't mean. Um, and he said, okay, what do you need to do? And he stood behind me 100% of the way in terms of building the podcast, all the things that I had to do so. And even when I shoot every Wednesday or every other Wednesday night, he makes sure that the house is quiet, that kids are taken care of, that everyone is eaten. He takes the reins, and I truly appreciate that support. All of my family, all of my friends who tuned in, um, those who go onto the different um, sites, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that, and they like and share and join in on the fun and the conversation. Just thank you to my listeners. Thank you. My listeners and watchers. Thank you. Thank you sincerely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And thank you some more. I am going to end this episode the way I do all of my episodes and tell you that you all have meant the world to me. Okay. And I couldn't thank you enough. And I want you to know that there's someone out there who shares your story, who wants to hear your story. If you are interested in being a guest on our show, by all means, go to our website, life-uncensored.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and drop us a line telling us that you want to share your story. If you have an idea about a topic for the show, same thing. Go to our website, life-uncensored.com, and drop us a line. If you just want to say hi, great job, how you guys doing? I love it. Go to the website and do the same. All right. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, I'm going to give you my quote for today. And it's very simple, from former Vice President Kamala Harris. Your voice is your power. I hope that resonates with someone. Until next time, stay well, stay hydrated, and do something kind for someone. You never know. You might change the world. Happy anniversary, Life Uncensored, navigating adulthood one episode at a time. And here is to many, many, many more. Bye, everyone.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one.